The DEA Museum is incredibly valuable to our community. We had an event to bring parents and children here with the sheriff. So this museum allows family members of all ages to come in and see this and understand that this may be the problem they're dealing with and they just don't know. Because one thing we know about addicts, they can hide this very well.
And we're very sensitive to making sure that we're attacking this problem from every aspect, okay, whether it's prevention, education, treatment. And so whatever we can do to get the message out in a very comprehensive fashion is what we're trying to do. And I think that that's the message, and certainly having the DEA Museum here to try to show people the history of drugs, how many people are profiting really from destroying other people's lives. And I think it's important that they understand and they know that. And that's what's great about having the DEA Museum here and having this relationship with the DEA that we do have.
What we've seen over the last several years, it's a way to fund terrorist activities. DEA's up front in the battle, in the war against terrorism. And the importance of an exhibit like this is the demand reduction. So we have to impress upon kids at a very young age the dangers and the consequences of illegal drugs.
Today, there are 51 formally designated terrorist organizations that our country has identified that are a threat to our nation directly and indirectly. Of those 51 designated terrorist organizations, somewhere between 50 to 60% conservatively that are involved in one or more aspects of the global drug trade. And they're involved in the global drug trade to keep their movements alive, to fund their operations.
The DEA exhibit is valuable to the citizens of Loudoun County, first and foremost, to give them an awareness of the extent of the problem. You go through this exhibit and you see just the vast impact it has on all aspects of our society. Drug abuse knows no socioeconomic boundaries. Because you are affluent in Loudoun County, you're as subjected to the traumas of drug abuse as any other socioeconomic standard.
Well, I think it's important for people to get in here to understand that here in Loudoun County, deputies are not having to carry Narcan in their cruisers because we have people who are overdosing, and the deputies are the first persons who are showing up. We're having to do life-saving techniques because people are abusing such a harsh drug like heroin. The first time you use heroin, you're addicted. There's no like second and third chance.
There's no stupid questions when it comes to drugs or drug abuse, and the parents have to be way more proactive. They can't sit back and say, it's not going to happen with my little Johnny because he's a good kid, he plays sports. He's not going to go down that path because I'm a professional. That's not true. All kids are vulnerable, so you have to have a dialogue with the children, and the children have to be feeling comfortable that they can have a dialogue with the parents.
As law enforcement, we're trained to see certain precursors to drug use. We're trained to see those warning signs. A lot of times, family members, close friends, they're in denial. They see them, they just don't want to see them. And that's a problem. We are part of the community, and we have to share what assets and resources we have with them in order to educate them so they can best defend themselves against threats like heroin and crack cocaine and any other illicit drug that's on the streets today.
This museum's valuable to the citizens of Loudoun County because it explains the costs of drug abuse, drug use, the cost to communities, the cost to families, and then it gives you the consequences.
When people come through here and they actually see and they speak to agents and police officers that have worked narcotics, I think they get more of a realistic idea of that this is for real. This is not something that's made up. It's not a storyline or a TV show.
We see students from all walks of life, from all socioeconomic, all racial backgrounds, all academic backgrounds, all athletic backgrounds. Abuse, it's an epidemic that doesn't discriminate, and we see students from all different ages too. So we even work with middle school students in the capacity where they're struggling because their brother is addicted and they're seeing that firsthand.
If you can show really young people pictures and videos of things that have to do with this really ugly life before they have developed to the place where they might be feeling so lost or feeling like less than or feeling like a failure, you have a better chance of growing that seed So I would suggest that any kind of visual education that you can do is better than even just Googling it.
We're never going to arrest our way out of the epidemic that's taking place across the nation right now. Every race, every income, every class, across the board, period. I agree, it starts a lot earlier with family values. Growing up here in Loudoun County myself, seeing the changes, it starts at home, it starts with the family, 100%.
It's not confined to one socioeconomic class. It's not confined to one ethnic group. It's not confined to females versus males. It just encompasses almost every group that you can imagine. We need involvement of the community. And you can't just sit back and say, this is somebody else's problem. I'll guarantee you it's touching your family somewhere. You just don't know about it.
You have situations where people are about to overdose and somebody comes in and gives them the Narcan, and they are mad that someone has stopped their high. That's how addictive this drug is, even when you're saving their life. They don't want it. So that's why we have to understand that this is a dance with death when you're dealing with heroin, like no other drug.